Welcome back. We're going to continue with our magazine cover for Kids Club. We're going to be adding type today. So we have a couple of chunks of type here. Remember your design rules. It's always best to deliver information, especially type, in smaller chunks. So we have three main chunks here to deliver. So let's start down here with the simplest of them. The little line down here that shows where there are different articles and subjects on different pages. So we have a rectangle here. I'm going to go over here and find the rectangle layer and select that so that I know that I'm on that layer. Then I'm simply going to type T or go over to my type tool. And the basic one here is the horizontal type tool. That's the one you'll use most often. And I will click inside of this box and drag, and I will draw a text box. I like to center it in here the best I can. I'm using my space bar to move it around if I want to. Okay, so now I have my text. Now what I will do is, before I start typing, I can style my text up here. I can choose the different typeface that I would like to use. I'm using Roboto here, kind of a cool typeface. And I'm using regular. I could adjust the weight if I wanted to as well. I can adjust the size by just using my slider. I think I'll scale this down a little bit. We'll start with about maybe like a 12, 14. I guess we'll start with 14. We'll see how that goes. I think it's probably about 18. And we can center it, which I think down here we will because we want it centered in the box. Otherwise you could make it left justified or right justified. And you can change the color. I will just simply click on this box here and it will allow me to sample the color. Now what I'll do is I'm going to sample this yellow. It is a yellow I sampled from one of the bows. I'll sample this, click OK, and now when I start typing, oops, sorry, I lost my text box. Try that one more time, a little bit faster here. Everything still stays the same. So if I start typing here, grow, ugly fruit, that's one word. I'd spell it right, that would help. And then page 14, and then a space, option 8 for the bullet, space, build an herb box, exclamation mark, page 27, space, option 8 for the bullet, space, creepy garden critters, exclamation mark, space, page 28. Now, my type is a little bit large, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, and I'll zoom in a little bit here, I'm going to triple click on all of that and then hold down my command and my shift and use my caret or my greater than less than, and it will make it a little bit smaller. Now it didn't select everything there. Let me select everything and let's just type in 14 and we'll see where that takes us. Looks like we probably go a little bit more. Let's just bump it up to 15. We could probably even go to 16, and that's pretty close to where I want to be. All right, I'm going to grab the top of the box, pull it down just a little bit to center it in there. Might have to zoom in just a little bit. It keeps wanting to, and I'm using the quick keys, it keeps wanting to jump down. So there. Now I can just use my arrow keys if I want. We'll center that in the box. Zoom out, see, probably even be just a little bit smaller. To select the type, I'm going to double click the type layer here. Notice that it actually puts the type right in the description here. So I'm going to double click, that will select everything. And I think we'll bring it down to 15. And that looks pretty good. It also looks like we're not really using, oh no, I guess that weight is pretty close. Let me see here. If I go with a light, that might be a little bit closer, and then I can bump it up to 16. It doesn't look like it. When I zoom in here, it looks like I still use something heavier. Now, we can always cheat a little bit. As a designer, you'll be filling this in, and it doesn't have to match exactly. But if I just click on this layer, I can double click on this, and I can see exactly what I used. I did use Roboto regular 15.5, and then here I have my type. So let's go back up to this layer, and we're going to type in 15.5, and we're going to use regular. And now there, that matches it nicely. So we added type to the bottom here. So the same process goes for this. I'm going to make another type box, type a T. So the same goes for this. I'm going to type T, and I want to go above the layer that I created. So I would go above this pink bar here, and I would draw a box over top of it. And right now it's going to pick up all of the styling that I used before, which is okay because I am using this white type. So I'm going to type in spring return has sprung exclamation mark, and now I can style this. I'm going to make this a little bit larger, and excuse me, I'm going to make this a little bit larger just by selecting it, and then again Command Shift, and using your greater than less than arrows you can enlarge it. You can also do it up in the menu bar if you want, but I'm just showing you the quick keys. And you can tell here that has sprung is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to reduce that, and spring is a little bit bigger. So I can style this a little bit larger. It looks like the S comes about right out to the A in has, and about a little bit into the G there. So that's a pretty good size. Now if I bring both of these together, you can see that that starts to look like what I have here. Over the purple shirt it would be a little bit darker and a little more legible. And I would do the same for the seed starting guide. The one difference with that would be I'm going to go to the white bar here and type T, click and drag a type bar or a type box here, seed starting guide. Now I can't see anything here. I think that my type is too big. Now there we go. If I open the box up a little bit, you can see that the type is really, really large. So I'll just scale it down until we can see all of it. Close this box back up just by grabbing the corner. And you can see that I have that seed starting guide. This type looks a little bit bolder. So I'm going to select that again by double clicking on my layer. And it looks like I may have used a bold. That looks better. And this is also a darker purple. So I'm going to select this type, click up here, and then just sample the purple that I have over here. And that looks like that's a nice fit. Now this looks like it's a little bit large too, so I'm going to double click on the type here. I'm going to make this just a little bit smaller. If you look and see here, it's just a little bit smaller than the has and the sprung. So I'll shrink that just a little bit more. And we will scoot that over. There, we can shift it around if we want. Now I have all of these set up. I could grab the white bar, the seed starting guide, the pink bar, and the spring has sprung, and drag them all over here. And my white bar got off a little bit there, which is okay. I'll just grab that and move it back up here. And I can adjust all this on the fly. If I grab the seed starting guide and I want to scoot that over, that's fine. I'm just using the arrow keys. And I want to grab spring has sprung, scoot that over, and I can adjust it that way. So we'll take all four of these, not the circle, and that's how that would be done. So We will continue building and adding type to our magazine cover in the second part of this tutorial video, adding type. In the second part, we will add Kids Club up here with the date and the volume with this line and rotate it. So I will see you then. Thank you.